that no longer work for me. Hello, crazy believers. You have reached the YouTube channel for Crazy Belief with Nelsa, and you just heard a little snippet of I Release by Beautiful Chorus, one of my absolute favorite meditation songs right now. You can find them on YouTube. I want to give a shout out to one of my soul sisters and cousins, Apples, who turned me on to their beautiful, beautiful soul stirring music. And I was writing in my journal, my Crazy Believe journal, that you can get before the year is out, an affirmation for myself. I release all things that no longer serve me. And I thought as we get ready to prepare for 2021, which honestly, as I'm recording this, there are only days left of 2020. And it feels like, where did the time go? I always say by 4th of July, it'll be Christmas in a blink of an eye. In the blink of an eye, it'll be Christmas. And we're days away from that. And there have been so many things that have happened to me personally, for my family, for the people in my orb, for the people in my friendship circle, both traumatic, tragic, as well as triumphant. It's been a year of ups and downs, ins and outs, a real roller coaster ride. I was born under fours. The number 4 is a huge, huge number in my life. And so I just knew when I turned 44, it would be a big year for me. And that year, my dad died. And so 2020 comes along, and I'm just like, I know it's going to be a big year again. And we have a global pandemic and a massive recession, and we have major change in the way we are living as people together, with all of the Black Lives Matter movement, and just learning to become citizens of the earth, and recognizing the light that each of us has within us, and honoring that, and learning to live together as human beings, hopefully. But it's been such a powerful year. So the title of this was going to be investing time in yourself, but I feel like that is not really what this message is going to be. I feel like I'm being moved to take us somewhere differently. And I think the message that I have is what I first put in my journal on this page. And I give this shout out to my friend Vanessa, Coach V. Check her out on Instagram. But the affirmation that she gave me this morning was, I'm expecting unexpected income in fun and exciting ways. And I want to change that up for tonight's video, in that I'm expecting unexpected blessings from unexpected places. And I think that what I've learned most about 2020 is that I can make all the plans in the world, and I do. I still journal. I still put what I like to manifest, what I'd like to see happen in my life, what goals I'm reaching and striving for as I move forward in my life. But what I've learned is that the universe, God, is steadily surprising me, steadily blowing my mind. And when I will release the things that no longer serve me, when I will release my limiting beliefs, when I will release the things that I have allowed as excuses to hold me back, the things that I thought were plausible reasons or plausible excuses for why I couldn't reach my goals previously, then maybe I will be able to see the things that I've really been dreaming for manifest. I'm in a different surrounding right now. A long-held dream has come true for me, and it took me just letting go and really letting God take control, really turning myself over in a way where I had to have complete trust that I couldn't manage my circumstances any longer in my own strength, but that my crazy belief, my crazy faith, um, that knowing that I was going to be okay, that things were going to work out for me, no matter what it looked like at any given moment, no matter how the circumstances seemed to be at a stopping point or I seemed to be defeated in a certain moment in time, that things were always working out for me. That's one of those things that if you listen to Abraham Hicks, she says that over and over. Esther Hicks always says, things are working out for me. I love the Bible verse that all things are working together for the good of those who love the Lord, who are called according to his purpose. That's one of my favorite scriptures. And I believe that. And that's where we have got to get to as we close 2020. If you don't think things are working out for you, guess what? Things aren't working out for you. Your belief in that is holding true. And that's not a blaming the victim. That's not making you feel some type of way. I never want people to feel like that, because I want you to come to my channel and I want you to be encouraged. I want you to know that the turn in the bend is there. What is boiling inside you, those things that you've pressed down and packed inside you, are in there for a reason, but it's time to let it out. It's time to let those things fly out of you and to gain their wings and start to live your dreams. You know, at some point, a dream is just a vision, is just in the closet, if you will, just gathering dust if you're not living it, if you're not actualizing, if you're not manifesting it into the here and now, in the present, in the 3D. But it has to happen in your mind. You have to be excited. You have to feel the passion for the things that you love, for the things that you're looking forward to happening in your life, if you want to see it happen in reality, if you want to see it come to pass. You can't give up on it now. 2020 has been hard. Yes, it's been hard as hell. And I said it and I stand by it. But you can't let go now. You've got to stand firm. You've got to believe in your dreams. You've got to believe that things are working out for you. You've got to journal. You've got to write this stuff down, guys. I know I've been saying it, and I've been saying it in a soft little, encouraging voice. Write it down. Make it plain. If you are not going from your head to your hand to that journal, whatever that journal looks like, a napkin, if you're not putting it down and reading over it, I was listening to let me get his name right. I don't want to say it wrong. I was looking at Law of Attraction on Instagram the other day. I am Joseph McClendon, at I am Joseph McClendon. If you'll look him up, this is who's responsible for what this little tidbit I'm going to give you. He says, write down, what did I accomplish this year? So I wrote down, what did I accomplish in 2020? And I had a list of 13 major things that I accomplished in my life. And he said, it's not always about writing down your New Year's resolutions, but thinking about your New Year evolutions. And so I wanted to really look at, how had I evolved in 2020? As hard as this year was, what was I able to accomplish in a year where there was a pandemic, where it felt like famine in the land? What had I been able to create with God on my side? There were some very significant wins in my life. And I'm sure if you take the time to do this activity tonight, you will see that there are some things that you thought were never going to come to pass, that you're going to see in black and white in your journal, that are real. Those are the things that help us keep moving forward when we're thinking about what's next, about what am I trying to manifest, about where am I standing as far as these dreams are concerned that I keep having, or why do I keep saying I want to do this, or I feel passion in a certain area, but it's not all the way birthed, you know, a woman just doesn't get pregnant. Let's just go to the natural, if we will. You know, kids, if you're watching and your parents haven't explained this to you, you're gonna have to talk to them after the video. But a woman doesn't just get pregnant and have a baby. It doesn't happen from the moment of conception that the birth pops off. There's several things that have to happen. That seed has to incubate. That seed has to take root and grow inside the woman's womb. That baby has to get bigger, and parts have to start fleshing out and forming, and the lungs have to be formed, the face, the eyes, the hands, the feet, the body has to start shaping up, and the heart is beating, and all these things have to take place, and the baby has to get big enough to be able to live on its own without the mother's uh, feeding it inside the birth tube and the birth canal and all those things. So, I'm a mother twice, and I'm not saying it all right because I'm excited about this message, but I want you to get this. But, because you have something that's inside you, a seed has been placed inside you, that's your dream. It's not going to just pop out of you. It's like a baby. It has to be nurtured. It has to be nourished. It has to be carried to term. And some of us, I can't say it any better. Some of us keep miscarrying our dreams. Some of us keep aborting our dreams. Some of us keep allowing ourselves to not get to full term with our dreams for whatever reason, because we're not nurturing them. We're not spending enough time in those dreams. We're not thinking about our dreams. We're not writing about our dreams. We're not getting enough rest. We're not nurturing our bodies. We're not giving our minds what it needs in order to see those dreams come to full term. And I've been guilty of it too. I have spent time working on everybody else's dreams, believing God for everybody else's dreams, spending time making sure everybody else was together, and my dreams kept getting diverted. And, it's okay to help people. I was listening to an old podcast tonight, the one that I was going to base this YouTube video off of, Invest Time in Yourself. So, it's the podcast where I've got the little glasses on. So there are two versions out there, because one was as Nelsa Feaster, one is as Nelsa Weber. So there are two versions of the podcast. The first two seasons are as Nelsa Feaster. The third season is Nelsa Weber. So it's the one with the glasses, and it's called Invest Time in Yourself. And in that, I talked about how we never show up on our own list, and we're not going to get our dreams across the finish line if we don't. Expecting unexpected blessings. Our dreams are going to show up. Our dreams are going to come to fruition if we will put our time in, if we will put in the nurturing, if we will release the limiting beliefs, if we will release the old programming and the old patterns of disbelief in ourselves, and thinking that we're unworthy, and thinking that we don't deserve to have the things that have been placed in our hearts, and thinking that we don't have the right paperwork, that we don't have the right education, that we don't have the right circumstances to be the person to deliver our dreams to the world. I feel like this is so important for somebody tonight. I don't know. There's somebody who feels like 2020 was sitting on your chest like an anvil, and you don't know how you're going to come up out from under it, that you got some bad news. You got some, maybe you've been cut off from something that you thought was going to be the answer. Maybe you got an answer that was a no when you were looking for a yes. I don't know. I don't know what your situation is, but there's somebody maybe who is not free right now. Maybe you feel like you're doing things that you don't want to do, but you feel like you have to do. We got to stop all that, guys. We got to start imagining what our lives should look like for us to feel happy, successful, healthy, wealthy. What do we want that to look like? If we can't see it, we can't bring it to pass. We can't bring it to life. If we can't write about it clearly, if we can't imagine it and write it down clearly, how can we ever expect to see it manifest? Okay? First of all. So let's get that straight. Let's start thinking about it. Let's start writing about it. And let's start pushing through and stop giving our dreams over on the side of the road. Let's stop dumping them when it just looks like things aren't working out for us, okay? Excuse me, I'm dry because this message is so important. I just got to get it out tonight. This may be my last message before the new year. So I just want to make sure that whoever needs this, please don't give up on your dreams. We talk about it all the time, but your crazy belief is gonna marry that dream, and you're gonna go and see all that you thought that was an impossibility come to light. You're gonna see it come to fruition if you don't give up now. One more thing. Your affirmations. How are you talking to yourself? Are you saying what you need to say to yourself? I told a cousin, and I had to tell myself this, are you saying things to yourself that you would tell a best friend, or that you would tell a child, that you would tell somebody who was in a really bad situation? Are you talking to yourself with grace? Are you telling yourself, things that you need to hear in the way you need to hear it? Or are you talking to yourself all rough and telling yourself you were stupid for making that decision? Are you whipping yourself when you make a mistake? Are you downing yourself for trusting people that maybe weren't trustworthy, but you went into it with the right intent and the right motivation, and they just weren't right? But are you giving yourself grace? Are you forgiving yourself? Are you releasing yourself from the guilt and shame of bad decisions that went on previously? We got to release ourselves from stinking thinking. Let it go. Come on out of the past. I've talked about that before. If you haven't released yourself, forgiving yourself, if we're going to put 2020 to bed, in a few days, put all that other stuff to bed too. Let it go. Deal with the consequences, deal with what you got to get through those circumstances, but release yourself from those feelings of shame or guilt or whatever you're feeling that are holding you back from moving forward and getting to where you need to be next. It's hard to take guilt and shame into a dream. Steve Harvey says all the time, depression and joy cannot reside in the same place. And so you're not going to be able to get into that dream and get into that place where your joy and your success and your health and your wealth is standing and waiting for you when you're dragging along this burden of, heaviness and just this abyss of just awfulness. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Cut it off. Let it go. Things happen. We aren't the people we were a year ago. We aren't the people we were 10 years ago. And there are people who want us to stay there, but we don't owe them that. We don't owe them that. If you've tried to ask for forgiveness, if you have tried to do the right thing by people, if you have tried to make things right and people don't want to let it go, it is not on you. The burden is no longer yours. Let it go. The burden is now for you to move forward in your life and to do what you need to do to get to the next place in your life. It's not for you to keep carrying those old grudges, carrying those old problems, those old relationships that don't serve you anymore. Why do we do it? Why do we do it? What makes us think that being a martyr or being subservient to those awful emotions is healthy? It's not healthy, guys. It's so not healthy, and it doesn't get us anywhere. It doesn't get us what we want. It really doesn't serve the other person. We're all in a prison of just awfulness. But today I encourage, exhort, and just encourage with all I've got Let that go and start crazy believing for your best life. 2021 is on its way. Let's start today. Let's not wait till January 1st to turn over a new leaf to move forward. Let's start today. All right. Again, I'm going to take us out with a beautiful chorus, our release. And I encourage you to look them up if you have not. They are amazing. If you've never heard them before, this is beautiful chorus. And I'm just going to play out our release. And I wish you all peace, joy, and love. Namaste.
All things that no longer serve me.
Get your journals too. Don't forget.
All things that no longer work for me.
Release it, guys. Let it go. Let's walk into this new year with a new you.
All things that no longer work for me.
Don't stop crazy believing.